I'll give you a quick lesson in my world. You know, I'm not good at too much for us. Can't fix cars, don't do the internet. But a big mistake that people make is they say these words here. Sales and marketing.
I am very shy. Very, very shy. And I came back from Vietnam and I could kill people, but I couldn't talk to people.
You gotta sell. You know, sales equals income. Well, the other guys were sitting in the coffee shop drinking coffee, complaining about the economy, bitching about the boss, you know. My friend Larry and I hit the road running.
So the reason most people are not successful is because they haven't failed enough. The real thing that I was trained as, the way it really goes is first it goes PR. It's really a philosophy above it. So PR is public relations. PR is when I'm in I'll be in Newsweek next week, Time Magazine next week. I fly to New York on Tuesday to do a television show with web broadcast with Steve Forbes. I'm coming out with a book with Donald Trump and things like that. It's all PR stuff. Marketing is kind of the spreadsheet between it. You know, marketing plans, testing and all that. It's like an accounting spreadsheet. And then there's a sale. So when times get really, really tough, what's the first thing that most businesses cut back on? PRs and marketing, so they have no sales. So I went and I spent 4 years learning how to sell. The reason I recommend network marketing is if you can't sell, you can't do the rest of the stuff. All right? That's why I recommend it. Okay, you've got to know how to communicate today. People who are poor cannot communicate. Okay? So I spent 4 years here and I found that I sucked at it. Really terrible. But I went from the worst salesman to #1 just by sheer determination. Overcoming my fear, my embarrassment, and I get my feedback, my stats. And pretty soon I was making more in a month than most people were making in a year. That was the thing. And the biggest thing I learned about sales was the reason most people aren't successful is they haven't failed enough times. So for me to become successful in sales, when I worked for Xerox, I was making about 4 sales calls a day. I'm going to dial for an appointment, and I'd go in, they'd say no, and I'd go eat lunch. I'd go back in, they'd say no, I'd eat lunch. I'd go in, say no, I'd eat lunch. I gained 40 pounds. And I talked to my rich dad. I said, why am I failing at sales? He says, because you're not failing enough. He says, if you want to be successful in life, you have to step up your failure rate. So at night, I would leave the Xerox office about 6 and I'd go across town to a nonprofit and I'd dial for dollars. And I wanted to get 30 no's a night as fast as I could. And the more I failed, the more my sales went up. So the reason most people are not successful is because they haven't failed enough.
How do you increase income? And you gotta sell. You know, sales equals income. Yeah. And if you don't have income, it's because you can't sell. It's just that directly. So there's 2 things I'll just say. My best friend and I, we became best friends at Xerox. He was #1 in office products and I was #1 in copiers. And this was a secret to our success. We outworked the other guys. So one thing that we both did is Larry and I, and he's a mega real estate developer today. Mega. Mm-hmm. You know, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of rental units. Huge fund, you know. But we both started work on Sunday night. And so, well, why would you do that? I said, well, because we partied Friday and Saturday. We're hungover on Sunday, and we start work on Sunday night. And we would get all our, you know, we had it all set up. So on Sunday, we did all our proposals for the next sales and all this stuff. So Monday morning came. Well, the other guys were sitting in the coffee shop drinking coffee, complaining about the economy, bitching about the boss, you know. My friend Larry and I hit the road running. And by Wednesday, we'd done everything. Made our sales calls and presentations. We knew we're ahead of the game. So that was number one. The other thing we both did is we volunteered for charity. So when other guys were going home, like on Monday afternoon, Tuesday afternoon, and all this, we went to these charities and we dialed for dollars. So we'd say, hi, we're calling from this Red Cross or animal shelters. So we volunteered to sell for charities, like on the spiritual side. So for about from like 7 to 9, 1 or 2 days a week, we'd be on the phone dialing for dollars. Now you can say, well, that's generous of you. It wasn't generous. This is why we're successful. During the day, we were lucky if we made 2 sales calls. By making phone calls at night, dialing for dollars, we could make 10, 20 calls a night. So the more calls we made, the more failures we had, and the more money we made. So we would make all these phone calls at night, failing away, but we're more effective during the day. So all these people say, well, you shouldn't make mistakes and all that. The more we failed making phone calls, the better we got. And after a while, I didn't care if I got rejected or this, and I say, hello, I'm calling for this. And one was the Red Cross we dialed for. I calling for the Red. We don't want it. I said, look, please listen to me. I don't want to donate. I said, please, I handle the BS. Like, I'm dialing for a good purpose. I'm dialing for the Red Cross. And pretty soon, okay, I'll give you the money. So I do that at night. I could do that 10, 20 times a night. During the day, I made more money. So anyway, that was the secret of our success. We failed one of the other guys.
It is a #1 skill of an entrepreneur. If you can't sell, you suck, And the reason I mention Asians, I am very shy. Very, very shy. I came back from Vietnam, and I could kill people, but I couldn't talk to people. And one day I said to when I decided to follow my rich dad's footsteps, I just said to him, I want to be an entrepreneur. He says, you got one problem. I said, what's that? I said, you're shy. I said, what's wrong with being shy? He says, you got to sell. You got to handle rejection. #1 skill. Can you handle rejection? Answer is no, I couldn't handle it. So I said, I still want to learn how to sell. So this was in 1973, I was 25 years old. And my rich dad said, how's your love life? I said, it sucks. He said, you getting laid? I said, no. He says, because you can't sell. You guys got it? So when I talk about what skill do you need, when the shit hits the fan, you better start selling. If you're a PhD, it means nothing. Nothing. If you have no job. I know that because that was my dad. So for those of you in network marketing, join it. Not in it, join it. Stay with it for 5 years. The best education you can get